Well, happy New Year's Eve, everyone, and welcome to the Ryland Inn. Today we are going to demonstrate putting together your New Year's Eve dinner. For our starting today, we have our soup, which we're going to start immediately by putting that into a pot to get warm. At a medium to low heat. No need to burn it. With a potato soup, it does have the potential to burn on the bottom, so we want to do it at a relatively low temperature, and we're going to stir frequently as well. So the soup has a garnish of the parsley raisin gastrique, and it has a cheddar crisp. This will give the soup a nice texture as well. So we're going to start by putting the bread in the oven. While that's warming up, we're going to take our salad, put it into a mixing bowl, season with a little salt and pepper. Now we have some watermelon radishes. So the duck we're going to add to the salad itself. If you'd like to warm this up, you certainly can. We're recommending serving this at room temperature. And then we have our vinaigrette, which is a truffle herb vinaigrette. I'm going to leave the fruit out to garnish at the end of the salad. You can really smell the truffle vinaigrette. It smells fantastic. I like to try and put the watermelon radishes a little more prevalent. Some more of our duck. And then the garnish for the salad is grapefruit and pomegranate. And we're just going to kind of spoon this into various locations, make it look pretty. Okay, so now we're going to get the soup off the stove. It's been simmering for about 2 minutes, but total time on the stove for one portion, about 5 minutes. And this has stinging nettles as a garnish to the potato soup. The stinging nettles came from our garden earlier in the year. Now we're going to use some of the raisin gastrique. This will be a little bit tangy. And then finally we have our cheddar crisp, which is just going to go right on the side and sit just like that. So this year's New Year's Eve menu includes a mid-course of cauliflower gnocchi. So we're going to say about 8 to 10 minutes in the oven for the gnocchi. All right, we've made it to the point where we're going to get our entree hot. So the entree for New Year's Eve is a fantastic pork crown roast. It has the eye roast, the rib bone, and a beautiful crispy piece of pork belly. So we're going to place this in the oven for about 10 minutes, and this will get nice and hot and a little bit brown on top. We're going to put this onto the top shelf in the oven. We have 3 garnishes that are going to go into simmering water. We have our red corn polenta, we have our honey glazed root vegetables, and we have our green beans with shallots. All 3 of these can go into the simmering water, and they'll be in there for about 8 to 10 minutes. So now that the meat is in the oven and the vegetables are in the simmering water, we have 2 other parts to get hot for your New Year's Eve dinner. The first is a mushroom tart. This will take about 5 to 6 minutes in the oven to get hot, so we're going to go ahead and put those in. And lastly, we have a terrific sauce for the pork this year, which has flavored with Madeira wine and black truffles. Should be really fantastic. We're going to put that in a small pot. So I've got a tablespoon of water added to this container just to make sure I get every last bit of sauce out of there. Put it into the pot. And we're going to take this over to the stove, and this is going to get hot on a very low temperature, let's say a 3 on your scale of 1 to 10. All right, we're at the time now where we can take our cauliflower gnocchi out of the oven. So the gnocchi is in the foil container, and we're going to gently use the spoon to scoop out, paying close attention to scooping between the cauliflower and the gnocchi themselves to make sure that you get a nice clean scoop each time you plate it. So now we're ready to plate the entree. We're not going to be slicing this meat unless you have a portion that is larger than one person, in which case I would recommend pulling the pork out first plating the other elements and then coming back to slice the pork so it has a chance to rest. So for today, we're going to remove our pork chop. Oh, beautiful. And I'm going to put them into a bowl. Then you're going to take some of the glaze that's in the bottom of the bowl, and we're going to spoon that. These are the green beans. We've removed them from the bag and laid them out nicely on our plate. The green beans have a second garnish, which are some crispy fried shallots, and we're just going to garnish them over the top. Just like that. Our mushroom tart. This is a very easy tart to remove from the cup. All we have to do is invert it on the plate, give it a little tap, and out it comes. Beautiful. Now we have our red corn grits, and we're going to squeeze these right into a bowl. There we go. Now, last but not least, we have our pork onto the plate. We have our crispy pork belly as a garnish. Put that right there. And then we have our sauce. All right, so this year's dessert for New Year's Eve comes conveniently plated for you already. It will come in a quart container like this, just to keep it safe, but inside will be a beautiful New Year's Eve parfait. All you have to do is remove the lid, and you can see all the great layers of the parfait. There's cake, there's cream, there's raspberry, and there's more fresh raspberries and lots of chocolate pearls to garnish on top. Happy New Year.